Ontario International Airport is on to a better way to fly with over 65 daily non-stop flights to more than 20 major destinations and the easiest airport experience in Southern California. Visit flyonto.com/Ontario to learn more about Ontario International Airport today. Welcome to KMET 1490 AM ABC News Radio and the Southern California Business Report, a show dedicated to highlighting successful Southern California businesses and the people behind them, with Daryl McCance and Yvette Walker. And now, here's Daryl and Yvette.
Thank you for joining the Southern California Business Report on ABC News and Talks KMET 1490 AM, 98.1 FM, and KMET TV with Yvette Walker and myself, Daryl McCance. We are live blasting our signal from the center of Southern California, the Inland Empire, Orange County, and the greater Los Angeles area to our west, the Desert Empire to our east, all the way to Arizona, Temecula, Riverside, all the way to San Diego to the south, and our beautiful mountain communities, Upper Desert, all the way to Nevada to our north. Get us crystal clear live worldwide by going to Google Play or Apple App Store and downloading the free KMET smartphone app today. We focus each week on successful businesses in Southern California and the people behind them, serving a local population of nearly 25 million in 10 counties. Today's show focuses on the business and secrets of Southern California's San Bernardino County and more. Before we begin today, a special thank you to our team, Mitch, Bill, and Sean at the station, and our amazing advisory group from UC Irvine, Bill Morris, School of Business, Jay Kaplan, catch his show every Friday at 3 p.m., Camila Rubio, Diana Cavallo, and James Carvin. Special thanks to last week's guest, Michelle Bell, founder and owner of Pedal Spin Strength Studio, award-winning, amazing athlete there in Rancho Cucamonga and locations also in the greater LA area. Definitely catch that show. If you didn't hear it last week, amazing what's going on there. It is it's one of the secrets of Southern California. And later on in the show, Yvette Walker will talk more about how to download and listen to that show anytime you want. As customary, Yvette Walker will introduce this week's special guest. Yvette, the microphone is all yours.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Daryl. I am so excited and extremely honored to introduce today Curt Hagman. Curt Hagman was elected to serve San Bernardino County's 4th District in November of 2014 and was named chairman of the Board of Supervisors in January of 2019. The 4th District includes the cities of Chino Hills, Montclair, Ontario, and the southern portion of Upland. It spans approximately 133 square miles and is home to over 400,000 residents. Supervisor Hagman has an extensive resume of public service prior to his election to the San Bernardino County Board of Supervisors, including serving in Chino Hills Parks and Recreation as a commissioner, member of City Council, and mayor, and served 6 years in the California Legislature. In January 2019, Hagman was elected by his fellow supervisors to serve as chairman of the board for a 2-year term. As a board director of the Southern California Association of Governments, also known as SCAG, he was selected as chairman of the Emerging Technologies Committee. The Emerging Technologies Committee researches and identifies new and emerging technologies that play an important role in the Regional Transportation Plan and the Sustainable Communities Strategy, also known as RTP and STP. A highlight for the supervisor had been his role in the successful transfer of returning Ontario International Airport to local control in 2016. Supervisor Hagman was able to reach across party lines and work behind the scenes to reinitiate serious dialogue between LAWA and OIAA on the transfer of control that led to the final agreement. As one of 5 commissioners on the OIAA, he presently serves as chairman of the OIAA Ad Hoc International Trade Committee. Along with supervisorial duties, Hagman also serves on the following boards and organizations: Governing Board Chairman of Inland Empire Health Plan, IEHP, which oversees the decisions and operations of the Public Health Plan. Inland Valley Development Agency, IVDA. National Association of Counties, NACO. Omnitrans, Southern California Association of Governments, SCAG. San Bernardino County Transportation Authority, SBCTA. Commissioner of Ontario International Authority, OIAA, and is an officer in the California State Military Reserves. Supervisor Hagman earned a Bachelor of Arts degree in psychology at UCLA. His children are continuing the Bruin tradition. Jonathan is currently attending a public policy master's program at UCLA and a second lieutenant in the Army National Guard. And Elizabeth is a freshman at UCLA and in the Army ROTC. Oh my goodness. Chairman Supervisor Hagman, I don't know how you do it all, but thank you for everything that you've done so far and what you're going to do in the future. And welcome. Thank you for joining us.
Well, thank you so much, both of you, for having me on. It's an honor, and I am pretty proud of my kids, both following the footsteps of being a Bruin. So it's nice to have a Bruin family. And sometimes we're the few, but we're the proud Bruins out here in the Inland Empire. A lot of my colleagues are SC, and so we have a lot of fun with that all the time.
Yeah, Coach John Wooden is up there smiling right now. You're keeping the Bruin tradition alive, and I got to tell you that between that resume and you're going to be the first chairman of the board that we've had on air, and it that intimidates me. And then on top of that, Hagman, I get flashbacks to J.R. Ewing. Okay, with with Dallas. So I'm double intimidated with that. Any relation?
Yeah, he's a distant cousin. He's a cousin of my dad, so I guess it makes it a second or third for me.
That is classic. Absolutely classic. So I wasn't scared when he was on I Dream of Jeannie, but when he got that J.R. Ewing role, oh boy, I'm in trouble. No, this is exciting. And as you know, the format of the show, I can't wait to talk about San Bernardino County with an international airport. It's the impact that it's having on Southern California. Yvette and I, we see Southern California as one beautiful community with different neighborhoods. And we have this neighborhood called San Bernardino County, obviously by landmass, the largest in the United States, is leading in one thing after another and getting national awards and national recognition. And it's the only international airport that I've ever seen reversed and taken back under control of the local entities, which is just an amazing feat of its own. But between rivers and lakes and mountains and ski resorts, and it's just such a beautiful county. And to see that it is right now the tip of the spear, creating jobs like few other counties are. Obviously benefiting from you and your colleagues to have great leadership to do all this. But before we get to that, please, let's go down memory lane. How did you get into public service? How did because right now you have one of the more important positions, period. We recently had one of your colleagues, Mayor Leon, there at Ontario. And he said, when your water gets turned off, you can call DC, but you're probably going to have a better luck calling your local office to get that water turned on. So you have this amazing vantage point of local and state, and you have that amazing position there. But how did you get into this line of work in the first place?
Thank you, both Daryl and Yvette. It was by accident, to be truthful. I was had a business. I was raising my family like most of us do in beautiful Chino Hills. And as I got bigger of my company, it gave me some more free time. And I guess at a younger age, I got instilled to have some public service. I understand that you have Eagle Scouts in your family, and I was an Eagle Scout as well. And it's just one of those things, the old adage, you give something to do to someone's busy. That's kind of how I was. So I started volunteering, and at one point I think I was in 7 volunteer groups at the same time.
Oh, wow.
Probably the youngest person in most of them, sometimes by half their age. So I got most of the heavy lifting and organization jobs, but I love the fulfillment of service. And one of the committees, I think it was a Kiwanis Club, was one of our old council members who who was part of the Kiwanis Club with us. And he says, Curt, I'd love to have you on my Park and Recs Commission. I'm going to have a vacancy. Well, how would you like to do that? I said, sure. And that was fun. And he got to tell me what was going on in my community more than others. But I think by the real taste of, I guess, being a leader, if I use that term loosely, as a representative, was more. My second public job was being a commissioner on the Workforce Investment Board for San Bernardino County. I was actually applying for another commission, and as a Park and Recs commissioner, you go to the same community events that all the same elected officials go to, so you start to run into everybody. And then Supervisor Fred Aguirre, I was talking about another commission at the time, and he goes, no, that one's closing down, but you're a successful business guy. I'd like to have you on the Workforce Investment Board. And I said, sure, I'll serve anywhere you want. And I went on it, but I had no idea what it was. And for those who don't know, that takes our federal labor dollars, brings it back to the county to help workforce training for those who need to be trained in a new career or sometimes their first career. And after a couple of months of going to it, I came back and talked to Fred. I go, Fred, I really don't understand. All we do is spend money. I don't see any accountability for it at all. And he goes, nope, you're a business guy. I put you in there for a reason. Go change it. So in the next 6 months, I ruffled a lot of feathers, but I built coalitions on that board, and we completely changed the way we are approaching, the way we give out grants and awards. And we went from one of the worst performing workforce investment boards in the nation to number one within 2 years. And that was just extremely fulfilling. In fact, we got to go see President Bush presented us the award when we went to DC for that. And we made a lot of new things and thought out of the box. And that's kind of been my signature as I've gone through public service, is trying not to do things the way people have done it. I feel government is a business of its own. And even though we don't have competition, we still have to reinvent ourselves to be efficient and keep doing things in a different way. And I think it's just that good feeling of being responsive to the residents, hopefully doing the right thing for the right reasons all the time, and being a leader and collaborator, bring other good people along together to come up with goals and objectives. And we do that pretty well.
That's fabulous. Supervisor Hagman, can you just give us a brief overview? I take for granted the fact that I am familiar with the title of supervisor and what it means to be chairman. But for our listeners and for our viewers, can you please break it down and explain what your role as chairman and supervisor means for the county in your role in San Bernardino?
Sure. Well, in fact, my kids always used to tease me. They hated it when I left being mayor because that's the only thing their friends knew what it was. But supervisors is a tough one. Even a lot of the county employees, or I went in at Starbucks, don't know what a supervisor is. But a supervisor is equivalent to like a council member. We have 5 districts throughout the county that are equally divided by population. And the chairman of the board is equivalent to a mayor. So we have all the duties of a city in the unincorporated areas. Those areas are not inside of city boundaries to keep the roads and sewers and water working, those type of things. But we have all the additional services, that social network, safety network that we have, mostly by federal and state mandate to do those services. So everything from the courts to probation, child services, just a whole list of different things that people take for granted that's there. That's the county doing those operations of those positions. And so it's approximately a 20,000+ workforce that works for the county. I think it's 22,000, plus we have others that work as kind of like agents of the county on top of that. So it's a big team. It's a big team effort in the county to keep things going. But hopefully we're in the background keeping things going, and you don't need our services. But for those who do, we're there for them.
Perfect. Thank you so much for sharing that. I know it's a heavy job to undertake, but with your colleagues, and I know many of them, you guys are all working tremendously. You have, it seems like the same mindset and the same qualities that really create this incredible leadership, in you and your colleagues. And that's really at the heart of how I see all of this actually happening. And I'm so excited to share all of the exciting updates that you are going to share with our listeners and our viewers today. So as we move into this segment, can you share with us some of the things that you're working on right now that we should all be really excited about?
we have a great team that's working together right now at the board level and the staff that seem to be putting things together. We've clicked very well. But it's an exceptional year. The year after COVID, optimism is up, and the county's been doing the right thing for the last 10 years of being conservative, paying off its bond debts and things like that. So we have the ability to do some major capital improvement investments over the next 4 or 5 years to come. And so a lot of exciting projects to come.
Yeah, it's funny you should say the mayor is equivalent to the chairman of the board for the Board of Supervisors, because you really painted a great picture there. And all of these cities, as you go through the different cities throughout Southern California, it's interesting how they all have their own personalities. And from my perspective, when I think of San Bernardino County, it's just a very relaxed, as Yvette Walker said, it seems like a very cohesive group. Everybody's on the same page. I definitely want to talk about that airport. It is winning national awards, and everybody. I know people from LA driving in to Ontario International Airport, people from Orange County, San Diego. I mean, just everybody loves that airport. It's so easy in, it's easy out. They just, obviously finished building a 20 million square foot building, single user. It's plugged right in with a company that one or two people have heard of called Amazon. We obviously within San Bernardino County have the very first McDonald's restaurant ever. It's just, from the history all the way to current, it's just so much fun to see the county, as I say, the tip of the spear, because it comes down to jobs, jobs, and jobs. Interest rates go up, interest rates go down, all kinds of things happen, but it comes down to jobs. And the fact that the county is manufacturing, and you got the airport and the truck port and the rail port. I mean, it's just hustling and bustling. It's motivating. And just to kind of put a bookmark there, because I know that you have special knowledge in the airport. We recently had Mark Thorpe on, and when that show was done, I wanted to do backflips and forward flips and side flips. I was so excited about what's going on out there. And I know that talk about that a little bit, how that all came to be. Yvette mentioned that in the introduction, just so people that have never heard that story before, how it got back under control of the local authority. You want to talk about that for just a minute?
Yeah, thank you. It was the day after I got elected for the Board of Supervisors. I got a call from an old colleague of mine up from the state capitol saying, "Hey, Mayor Garcetti wants to talk to you about the airport." And sure, so I actually drove out that afternoon. I met with the mayor, and he said, "Look, we've been fighting at legal odds with the city of Ontario for over 7 years, and I think it's time to work on a deal." And so we sat down, and he and I spent the next hour and a half together, kind of talking about the bigger picture of the items of what needs to happen. Is how do we take care of the employees there at the airport? How do we do this in the right way? Because he has to get it passed by his LAX board. And for those who didn't know, LAX basically ran Ontario Airport for over 4 decades from their control. That's why it was the way it was. And so here's an opportunity for us to work together. So we have a joint powers agreement between the County of San Bernardino and the City of Ontario. And we had the Ontario Airport Authority formed to take over that management of the airport, take it back into local possession. And as of 2 weeks ago, we actually paid off LAX. And so we're debt free with them, and we're moving forward, and we have some great plans at the airport. I'm excited as you are. We want the commissioners to see those new flights, to know which ones we're talking to that we can't announce yet, and the future fun destinations for our residents to travel to, and just the commerce, the backbone that it provides. We know that we're a huge logistics community here in the valley of San Bernardino County, that we have cargo coming for the rest of the nation through our county on trucks and rail, but also on the airport. And with more and more our purchasing going, have the expectations coming tomorrow, those airport deliveries from DHL, Amazon, UPS, all of those have to be done, including Prime Airlines, which is the Amazon carrier. So we have all that going on in the airport, and we have lots of land. And so we have great rooms to expand. not just on the commercial side of the cargo, but for our passengers' experience, we plan to build new terminals and a new port for people to come in and out for our international travel. That's going to be just really great. So we'll have the newest and the best at some point in the future. And it's all right here in our backyard that we can sit there and get to easy and not sit on the 405 for 4 hours to try to get in and out of the airport.
Yeah, it's really it's fascinating, and I give it a perfect 10 score. I was just in and out of there just a few days ago. It's the joke that I tell is I go to Ontario International Airport if I want to relax. Okay, I mean, can you imagine going to an international airport and it relaxes me. It's so easy in. Everybody's friendly. There's no. I mean, it is just an amazing job completed by you and your peers and the team on the ground, the management team, the entire group, and the fact that it's got the business component, it's got the personal travel component, it's got the logistics component, and everybody's being so careful. When you go into the passenger area, you don't see the big trucks coming by, and when the big trucks are in their area, they're not seeing the passengers, interrupting their flow, and all the logistics. It's just, it's almost like watching something very beautifully choreographed. And lots of credit to you and your peers for that. So keep up the good work.
I will tell you a funny story. You talk about the secrets of getting things done. So here's the story how we got China Airlines, which is the Taiwanese government airlines that come to Ontario. Is the county of San Bernardino was signed up one of its first sister city relationships, because when I came to the county, we didn't have any of those at all. I knew how important international trade and those connections were being for my state position in the state assembly for 6 years. So I'm out having the big celebratory dinner with the mayor of Taiwan, who happens to basically appoint the whole board of directors for China Airlines, saying, look, we have an airport in Ontario. And they keep thinking Ontario, Canada. It's not Ontario, Canada. It's basically to the east of the LAX, and we're just as close to downtown LA as the other airports. So, and we're drinking lots of, celebratory wine. And I said, look, he brings the CEO of China Airlines over, and I go, just do me a favor. Take a survey of your current passengers of would they rather fly out of Ontario or LAX? Because most of those passengers that I know, because we have the demographics where they buy their tickets, are closer to my airport than LAX. 3 weeks later, they came back with 89% preferred Ontario to travel out of LAX, and they gave us the flight. And it's been very successful ever since.
Very nice.
But it's over a dinner, wine, and a survey. And it's probably the more unorthodox way of doing it, but they've been very successful, and they'll be back out starting very soon.
Yeah, no, they are excited, and the fact that we have these China airline flights, and we've got flights going all over the world is really amazing. I think it's going to be it already is one of the great airports in the United States of America. And when we come back from break, we are going to talk more about Ontario International Airport. We're going to talk about the entire county. We're going to talk about things that are working, things that are going to be coming up as we go forward. Not to mention, Yvette and I talked a little bit yesterday to you about our favorite zoo of all time, the Big Bear Alpine Zoo that just doubled in size, and it's more fun than a barrel of monkeys, as the old saying goes. So we will talk about that and much, much more. We will be right back with the chairman of the board of the County Board of Supervisors, Mr. Curt Hagman. We'll be right back.
The University of Laverne is rated first in California for alumni satisfaction. Learn more about accelerated programs offered online and on campus in Laverne, Irvine, Ontario, Burbank, or College of the Canyons. Visit go.laverne.edu. The University of Laverne. go.laverne.edu. Ontario International Airport is onto a better way to fly with over 65 daily non-stop flights to more than 20 major destinations and the easiest airport experience in Southern California. Visit flyonto.com/Ontario to learn more about Ontario International Airport today.
Join Daryl McCance and Yvette Walker each Tuesday at 4 p.m. on ABC News Radio, KMET, and Internet KMET TV for the Southern California Business Report. The show highlights successful businesses and individuals behind them. Daryl and Yvette interview the incredible people managing these enterprises that range from awe-inspiring sole proprietors to world-renowned organizations. The Southern California Business Report, Tuesdays at 4 p.m. on KMET AM, FM, and Internet KMET TV.
Being sued and don't know who to turn to? The insurance company won't defend you and your family in a lawsuit? Stress no more. Call the Walker Law Group. We are the law on your side. Just call 909-989-3200. 909-989-3200.
That voice sounded familiar on that Walker Law Group commercial there. Anyway, so we are back with the chairman of the board, Curt Hagman, San Bernardino County Board of Supervisors. And before we went to break, we were just finishing up talking about the Ontario International Airport and and all of the wonderful things that are going out there. We could just spend 5 hours talking about the airport. But any other thoughts on the airport? Because you know better than anybody. You were sharing with the audience. Thank you for that, by the way. I had no idea that the airport was approximately 40 years under the control of LAX, and now it's under the local control. Any more on the thoughts on the airport before we move on?
No, just to brag about it. We are the second fastest growing airport again after COVID. We're going to see a lot of new routes for our residents, and I think that's the biggest thing we want. We don't want to take we want direct flights, have LAX. We want to have more choices. That's what they keep telling us. So we're working hard on that, and you'll see a lot of growth here this year.
That's wonderful.
With your background and Mark Thorpe having experience with Dallas Fort Worth and Newark and LAX, and when he says it's the most amazing airport he's seen, and what you've just reported, I just think it's the tip of the spear, and it's going to bring so much.
And I will say something exciting, which will lead to another subject, that we're probably one of the most innovative regions in the world right now as far as what we're bringing in. And we've actually made that our motto at the county is to bring in technology in anywhere we can. So we will be the first place, hopefully within 2 years, have it completed, to have the boring company drill a tunnel for us from the Metrolink connection in Rancho Cucamonga Transportation Center to Ontario International Airport, where you can take Tesla shuttle vans back and forth. And so you can ride the Metrolink out. And so on SBCTA, we are working together with the boring company as we speak. And hopefully by September or around that time period, we'll be awarding that. And it won't take that long to build. It's the environmental process behind it. But you'll travel basically from surface at Rancho, underground 45 feet, and pop back up right next to the terminals and get out and go on the airport. So it's exciting times for that.
Oh, that's amazing. That's amazing. And we also know that you and your colleagues recently voted through a multi-billion-dollar bill for the county that's going to address infrastructure and services, which is amazing because I read through it, and all of the things that you guys are going to be dedicating these funds to is amazing. It's phenomenal. It makes me very happy to live in this county and excited for the future of my children and their children because of the real investment into our community. So can you talk in depth about some of those infrastructure and services that are going to be funded through this program?
Oh, absolutely. We're very excited. There's so many things to go over. It's hard to say where to start. But I'll start off with my district. We're familiar with it. I have two wonderful county assets in my district, Guasti Regional Park as well as Prado Regional Park. Both of those are getting millions of dollars to put in some cases hundreds of millions of dollars put in to new activities and infrastructure in those parks. So things like, if you can see, if you go by 4th and Vineyard right now, Top Golf is going up in the corner. The first one that'll be completed in Southern California, or in California. And then we have another 17 acres next door that will be a surprise what's going to come there, but we're working on that right now. And then on the Guasti Park, continuing with that, we'll be adding, we're looking at putting a lazy river type of setup. So our residents can float down the lazy river and kids can have their own little play areas or cabanas next to the river, almost like a water park type of feature, as well as really fixing up the beauty of the park there. And with all our parks, we're moving more technology. It's one thing COVID taught us is everyone needs access to high-speed internet, and there's many parts of the county that have none, no cellular, no internet. So we're working hard on that infrastructure to deploy that throughout the county to work with our providers, as well as providers that may not have enough incentive to come to certain areas. So we'll be backfilling with their infrastructure costs to help. We also are one of the first people in the world to make a contract with Starlink for that purpose. Starlink, this is another SpaceX or Elon Musk company that brings high-speed internet with low-level satellites. And I'm proud to say we got 6 units being beta tested out in the county right now to bring internet to places like our Calico Ghost Town. And some of the fun things you can do with internet. Not only can my merchants use now credit card machines and people can get access to their social media and advertise the wonderful things they see out there more, but also we developed a QR code type scan system. So when you pop up and you see the mine or cavern up there, you can scan the QR code and it'll come up and a virtual ranger will come up and tell you all about the history there. So integrating technology, even with our nature and our beauty, is going to be important to us. Down in Prado Park, that's just a huge unused gem that we have, underutilized, I should say. It's not used. We probably use about 80 acres of 1,700 right now.
Oh my goodness!
So it's very small footprint, even though it's a beautiful lake on it and camping spots and ball fields and things like that. Because of some land sales we're going to do with some recreation easements on it, we're going to move those monies, which is over $200 million to put in that park. And we've been working with our residents over the last 2 years to find out what type of facilities they want to see in their regional park. And it's going to be exciting. Again, another aquatic center, a large one, museums for kids, demonstration farms, farmers markets, rope courses, BMX bike trails, a lot of active nature type of things going in there, as well as the infrastructure, more camps, a place to have small concerts or medium-sized concerts, and to have group activities and group camps. We're going to make it high-tech. So we're going to have, again, Wi-Fi and those type of services, which everyone's going to expect now. But also, we're looking at autonomous shuttles to take people back and forth between different sections of the park because it's so large, from the active area to maybe the passive area to walking trails and horse trails to all the nature areas. So it's just a lot of infrastructure emphasis that we're going to go through, and it's going to be some great assets they have. And right above there, I have Chino Airport, which is another county asset, and we're going to give that a makeover. And we're going to be able to add services that may correspond with the park because, and this may be a little breaking news, a little nervous, we're very close to making be able to bring a couple of the venues for the Los Angeles Olympics back to Prado Park.
Oh my
for the
goodness.
Olympics. So
Wow.
once that's done, the villages and other things will also have to be laid out and played in there. So we have some time, especially since it's been delayed a little bit due to COVID, but we're excited to have the potential of showing off our assets here in San Bernardino County to the rest of the world at that point. And we'll have top-rate facilities for all those things as we go forward.
Oh, absolutely. That's just incredible and just, it's mind-blowing. It's so exciting. But when you talk about the 6 satellites via Starlink to be, I'm guessing, distributed equally across the county of San Bernardino, I'm guessing and hoping that will also serve as a safety measure for nature enthusiasts. You know, we hear a lot about people going off hiking, maybe not having reception, losing their bearings. I would guess that having this technology, you know, spread across the county, especially over those nature trails, nature preserves. You know, you have the Mojave Desert, Death Valley, Joshua Tree, all those fun places people like to go visit and travel. And as we, know sometimes people can get lost and lose their bearings. But I'm hoping and guessing, and maybe you can answer this question, will that Starlink Wi-Fi connectivity help address those issues as well?
You're reading my mind. That's exactly what we're demonstrating.
Perfect.
So the future of Starlink, not to be an advertising for them, although I believe their technology is to replace what we have at home, our Verizon hookup or whatever that gives a small family or a building internet service. And so you'll need multiple of these devices throughout the areas, but now allows us to have that at your cabin in the middle of Big Bear, or if you're RV camp in the middle of Joshua Tree, you'll have full speed internet. But we're going to use it to integrate into our safety and public safety and infrastructure monitoring. Mount Baldy, a great place to go hike and beautiful views and all the rest of it. It can be very challenging. My son, who we talked about being a National Guardsman in great shape, he said, "Dad, it's a tough trail going all the way to the peak." But we have someone getting hurt or lost probably once a week on average on the San Bernardino kind. So we send search and rescue teams. We have the sheriff helicopter come out, and it's very costly to our residents, as well as we've lost life, including those search and rescue members. Since a few years ago, I lost a search and rescue member looking for someone who got lost.
Yes,
so that's
a dear friend of ours, Tim Staples. I just have to say, Tim Staples, Barbara, and Dan Staples, we love you, and we still mourn his passing. So sorry, but I just had to say that. Yes.
Yeah. So instead of doing the same thing over and over, expecting a different result, that's what we're going to use this technology for. We're going to pick the areas, and I already have the county, the sheriff's team gave me all the GPS coordinates where the majority of the people seem to get lost or injured or fall off the trail. And we're going to be able to add these devices. We also have prototyping another, for lack of a better word, a battery box. It's a half-size sea container with batteries and solar. So we have a power source. We have internet connection. With that, we can deploy different levels of technology in different areas. So we can give navigational aids. We can have people be able to call for help and be able to find them if they do need our help and assistance a lot quicker, and hopefully save lives as well as save resources. So those are the type of projects we're just now getting into. It's an exciting time for us, as well as the quality of life for using those our facilities or seeing the nature, having the access to take pictures and sending it out, or to be able to read the history about something. It's going to be fun.
Now, you mentioned the lazy river, and I think it's just brilliant because, whenever you talk to somebody about San Antonio, Texas, they can't wait to tell you about Riverwalk. And it's really cool how they built that and then built all the restaurants and everybody's having fun and all that to build that type of infrastructure right through that corridor there, I think is brilliant. Because when people are having fun and really enjoying where they live, and as we had recently, Yvette Walker and I, Mayor Warren on, and one of her residents said there in Fontana, see that warehouse right over there? I love that warehouse. That's where I work. Okay. And I live right over there. And the difference between those two, point A and point B, is 5 minutes. And right now in Southern California, the average commute time is an hour and 20 minutes plus each way. So we have obviously people living in all over Southern California and driving into San Bernardino County to work, to live, to have fun, get on the international airport grounds and travel the world. So, I just think that your idea there of creating just an attractive, fun place to go. I mean, with all the land and all the opportunity, that's, the old one-liner is, land, land, land. If you don't have land, you're not doing much. And the fact that they've got all of that capacity there at the airport, and talking about putting helipads in and just all next level stuff, I just think it's going to be so much excitement in the next 1, 3, 5, 7, 10 years. And to have you on today, and you've got a front row seat, and you're in a position of leadership, and we thank you. By the way, you mentioned the pandemic. We've had 9/11, World War I, World War II, SARS, now the pandemic, hopefully in our rearview mirror. If you could please share from Yvette and I that we are hearing from successful businesses all over Southern California that the county of San Bernardino was amazing through that challenging period of time. Everybody couldn't have been friendlier, couldn't have been more supportive, could not have been more respectful to the businesses, to the residents, to visitors, and I can go on and on and on. But no one is more well positioned to share that message with the staff at the county than you. And we would really appreciate if you would share that, because when things are good, everybody's a genius. But when we hit challenges is when you really get to see what the leadership looks like. And as far as I'm concerned, we couldn't be luckier
Yes,
to
definitely.
have you and your colleagues at the steering wheel as we're trying to navigate through this and get information exchanged. So we obviously focus on strengths, successes, and opportunities. And to me, now we have a tested group there, and and I just can't say enough for them. So if you would definitely make sure to pass that on, and the kind
No,
of
thank you. Thank you. No, we had a great team to handle that, and we realized that our residents, our businesses were going through a lot, and so we try to be as transparent as possible. I was kind of mentioning earlier that some of my neighboring counties felt like they should deal with COVID by writing a lot of citations. We didn't write any citations. We gave some letters and some encouragement to do the right thing. We came up with the first business support program in the nation to give our businesses a little check to help them become COVID compliant at the time. And a lot of those measures being a online navigational portal to see all the information, very transparent. We won several awards through what's called NACO, which is the National Association of County, which is all the counties in the United States. We hit a record by winning 60 awards this last year, which I'm very proud of the county. 8 or 9 of them are on COVID-related support businesses. And the way we supported our businesses and our residents through our senior care centers. And we had a fantastic team, and I couldn't be more proud of how they executed COVID. We didn't want to be there. We didn't want to be in that position. And believe me, we've heard all the frustration, and I've heard it from my residents, from my businesses, and we were frustrated as local government dealing with the rules as well from Sacramento and from the nation. So there's a lot of competing interests and thoughts about COVID. But the one thing I think we all could agree upon is we're glad to see it go in the rearview mirror right now, moving forward. And it's an exciting time to go back out and then this week to see the changes that we have to go see life again.
Absolutely, and I tell you, it's we have 10 beautiful counties in Southern California, and I know you focus on best practices, and I know that the county is in the business of supporting business and supporting residents, and really, it's all it is everything. As people are trying to succeed and work hard, provide for their families, to know that you and your team, it puts that group of people in the number one spot. It's really just it's a mindset, and what a humble group, what a kind group, and it makes us very, very proud. I know you mentioned to Yvette and I that the county has a wonderful relationship with the neighboring county, Riverside and Orange County, and the others, and working closely with LA County. Everybody wins. When everybody's trying to really figure out, let's work our strengths, they work their strengths. I know the airport, they want to do no damage to LA. LA has just done an amazing job with passenger travel and all that. And it's just neat to see everybody really trying to work their strengths and kind of build from there. And I think we're really winning. We're the winners in that whole transaction.
I think a lot of that comes with the experience of the leaders you have too. I will say personally, my 6 years in legislature made a lot of contacts and friends to the members on Orange County, to the members in Riverside, to the members in San Diego. 6 out of the 15 council members in LA, and the majority of the congressional delegation are all part of my class of the state assembly and senate at the same time. And so you have those contacts, you can reach out, and this isn't competition. We're not going to be taken over by another county if we do things wrong, but we can really uplift our residents from the whole Southern California if we work things together. And that's what we've been really, we were doing so before, but really pushed hard to do so during COVID because there are things that no one was dealing with before. And that really came in handy. One of my newest members of the board is now, he served with me in the state assembly. We went to Congress for 6 years, whatever, and came back down, Paul Cook. And so he has that experience from the federal level. And throughout the line, Joe Bach was another assembly member, and Jan was with several different positions. So that experience comes together when the crisis happens. And that's what we had here in San Bernardino County. It's a great team effort with lots of experience, people working together, trying to do the right thing for the right reasons. And we realized that our residents and our businesses are our number one priority. And we really try to reach out to them to make sure that we can do everything within our power. And that we're not endless power, but we have some resources we can do to work with them and really keep those communication lines open. I remember I was meeting with pastors like we're doing via Zoom probably every week as the rules were changing, because they're very stressed at how they were going to do their business, and that was a very integral part of our business. Same thing, we had leadership groups on different types of industry and restaurants and hospitality and all throughout that we met with on a regular basis and kept those lines of communication. So yes, we were very proud of the efforts there, but we have a lot more to go going forward, a lot more things we can work on together, building those blocks that we had before.
Now, you shared some secrets, and I have a feeling that you're in a position to share another secret. Tell us about Ontario Ranch. I understand there's some technology out there.
There's a lot. I mean, City of Ontario has a great network. One of the first cities that decided to do their own internet providing with their gigabyte service to all the new residents. And so Ontario Ranch is very much a pre-planned community with the technology being one of the backbones. And as we see the new houses, and for those residents who live there, what a great time to live there during COVID, when we have seen whole industries move home to do their business and commute, from their bedroom to their desk each morning versus on the freeway, which, saves people off the roads and stuff. So yeah, that backbone of technology, that high-speed internet is such a must, and their best practices are going to be shared with other communities as we go forward, having their own control, because the government looks at a systems build out versus an economic build out. They look at it differently. If I'm a for-profit business, I'm going to look, what's my return on investment for each infrastructure development? When I'm the government, I'm not looking for return on investment today. I'm looking at what's the best way to build out that network and starting, making it solid throughout the way. And in some cases, I wish we did this earlier. I wish we could have stepped in so we can make sure that everyone has access to high-speed internet. But that's going to be obviously a big chore for us to do in the years to come. The federal government's looking at it. They're looking at putting a lot of money out behind it. So is the state, because we all realize you cannot compete in business. You cannot compete with telehealth, which we're going toward now, nor with education unless you have access to it. So it's going to be a priority for everyone.
Yeah, I've noticed the big beautiful off-ramp signs, and there's all kinds of little secrets going on around the county. I go, these are some of the prettiest signs I've seen in the nation. All the attention to detail, is these off-ramps off the freeways and all the rest of it. It's just it's neat to see all the coordination, and but yet every place is maintaining its personality. Rancho Cucamonga has its personality, and Chino Hills and Lake Arrowhead and Big Bear and all the mountain communities, Upper Desert, down below. So it's neat to see everybody keeping their personality, but at the same time, you're seeing convention centers and arenas and amazing music venues, and so it's getting exciting. So we want to make sure that as these things become.
Well, we definitely need more recreational.
What do you see? What do you envision on that going forward? Anything you can share?
Well, I can say that our average age of the county is 33 years old, so we need to focus on those family-oriented type of venues that we can have. And we always talk about live, work, and play in the IE. We need to make sure we have lots of places to play, and obviously the nature we do. We got beautiful mountains and beautiful deserts and places you go for days and not see another person. But You also people like to have the fun things you have around the corner and have those venues and sports teams and all those different things coming forward. And we're working on with partnerships in our cities. We have a lot more choices for our residents in the near future to have more and more things to go do all the time right here in San Bernardino County.
Beautiful.
That's wonderful. Thank you so much, Supervisor Hagman. And thank you to you and to your team for creating this sustainable economic catalyst that we can all be very proud of and enjoy as residents and taxpayers in the county of San Bernardino. So for everyone that's listening today and watching, don't forget to look for us on Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, and Instagram. Check us out on scbrtalk.com, and don't forget to download the free live streaming app on Google Play or the Apple App Store. Check out our YouTube channel and download our interview with Michelle Bell, the owner and founder of Pedal Spin and Strength Studios, who has been rocking that lead bike and building a fitness community of professionals and keeping people healthy mentally and physically since 2008. Michelle partnered up with her sister-in-law and opened 2 boutique studios, and they have them in San Bernardino County and LA County. Check that interview out. Next week, we will have Stephen G. Larson, a former U.S. District Judge and founding partner of Larson LLP. Stephen Larson has spent his career at the center of the most high-profile, complex civil and white-collar criminal matters in the country. With a national reputation in the courtroom as an even-tempered litigator with a keen mind, he is recognized annually by Chambers USA and the Daily Journal, California's leading legal newspaper, as one of the top litigators in California. Everybody, don't miss it. See you next week.
This has been the Southern California Business Report with Daryl McCance and Yvette Walker on KMET 1490 AM ABC News Radio, a show dedicated to highlighting successful Southern California businesses and the people behind them. Log on to the show's website and remember to visit the podcast page.